My neighbor demanded $15,000 for my dog, but the security footage exposed his own dog. My neighbor Dave sued me for $15,000 because a dog kept wrecking his garden at night. The problem was simple. I don't have a dog. I've never owned one. I'm allergic to most pets, and I get itchy hives fast, so I avoid them. Dave didn't care. He said he had proof, and he showed up at my door with printouts like he was building a case. He'd installed cameras after his tomatoes started getting torn up. The videos were clear. At 3:17 a.m., a big golden retriever hopped the fence, dug up rows of plants, and trotted back the same way. It happened again the next night, and the next. 2 weeks of the same routine, almost like a schedule. Dave got more intense each day. He took screenshots, circled paw prints, and taped timeline charts to a clipboard. He kept saying, "It comes from your yard. That means it's yours." I told him, "There's nothing in my yard but grass and a shed." He said I was hiding the dog somewhere during the day. He asked other neighbors if they'd seen me walking it, and people started looking at me like I was lying. Then the demand letters came. Dave hired a landscaper who wrote a damage report. His lawyer broke it down into neat numbers: rare seeds, labor, soil repair, and even emotional distress from missing garden contests. I read it twice and felt my stomach drop. My hands were shaking. $15,000 for a dog I didn't have. I tried being nice at first. I offered to check my fence, to help him patch boards, to talk through it like adults. Dave just pointed at the footage and said, "See? Your fence. Your problem." I asked him straight up, "Do you own a golden retriever?" He said yes, but swore Buddy was always inside at night. I said, "Then maybe Buddy isn't inside." Dave snapped, "Don't blame my dog." After that, every talk turned into an argument. I asked to walk his yard with him and check both fences together. He refused and said I was trying to mess with his evidence. I replayed the clips and realized the cameras mostly caught the corner jump, so it was easy to assume the dog started in my yard. But I still couldn't explain why I had zero signs of a dog. Every time I said, "That's not my dog," Dave said, "Then explain the video." He filed anyway. I got served at work, in front of my coworkers, like I was some kind of criminal. That night I walked my backyard with a flashlight, looking for holes, gates, anything. My fence was solid. No gaps, no loose boards, no dog prints. Still, Dave's cameras kept catching that retriever jumping near the corner by the trees. He'd wave the clips around like they were a confession. My lawyer asked Dave's lawyer for any proof I owned a dog, like vet papers or a license. They had nothing. They kept circling back to the video and saying, "The dog comes from his yard." By the time court came, Dave was glowing with confidence. He walked in with his lawyer in a sharp suit and a briefcase stuffed with folders. In the hallway, Dave said, "Hope you like paying for my garden." I said, "Hope you actually watched your own video." He scoffed and went inside. The judge asked for the evidence, and Dave's lawyer played a compilation on a big screen. Night 1, the dog dug up tomatoes. Night 2, it snapped rose stems and dragged them through the dirt. Night 3, it crushed the herb bed into mud. The judge watched without blinking. Dave sat there nodding like he'd already won. Then the judge looked at me and said, "Do you recognize this dog?" I leaned forward and stared at the screen. The dog paused under the porch light for half a second, and I saw the collar tag swing. "Yeah," I said, "I know that dog." Dave's lawyer smiled so wide it looked painful. He said, "So you admit it's yours?" I said, "No, that's Buddy, Dave's dog." The room went quiet. Dave snapped his head toward me and said, "What are you talking about?" I pointed at the screen and said, "Pause it right there." The judge did. The tag was clear enough to read. It said Buddy, and it had an address right under the name. It was Dave's address. Dave's lawyer leaned in, squinting, and his smile